What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Phil, once again. Forget I ever said that. Oh boy. So no, I just got done playing Resident Evil 3 Remake, or just Resident Evil 3. And I just wanted to get my thoughts down real quick before I deleted it from my console because I probably will not play this game for quite a while after this because wow, was this a complete utter letdown compared to what they did with Resident Evil 2 remake just last year. And I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a quicker one. Just want to get down my thoughts and how I personally feel about the game. Now, first and foremost, do I think this is a bad game? No. I think this is a really fun, entertaining game for the most part. Do I think that it should have been $60? Do I think it's worth buying? I think it is worth buying and worth playing, but not at $60. Absolutely not. This game should have been 100% DLC for the Resident Evil 2 remake. But it wasn't because Capcom's got to get that money. Capcom's got to, ride that success train they had with the previous game, and they fooled so many people that this was going to be, as polished and as enhanced as they had made the previous remake. I thought that by the time I was nearing the end of the game, I thought I genuinely had put in close to between 7 and 8 hours of the game. That's what it felt like to me. And then when I looked at the timer, when I beat the game, it was 4 hours, 38 minutes. I am genuinely surprised. It did not feel like that short of a game. But the timer timed it, so I guess it must be right. The game it shares a lot of similarities, between the launch of the original Resident Evil 3, only coming out about a year or so after the original release of Resident Evil 2. And a lot of people at first were defending it, oh, well, they released this game in about a year. You can't really blame them. No, this game's been in development for 3 years. 3 years. They 100% knew they were going to release this game, for a while. And the game just take it from someone who's never played the original Resident Evil 3, but the original Resident Evil 3 sounds so much better. Branching story paths, choose your own, what you want to do in particular situations. The fact that Nemesis was a random occurrence, that was cool. That sounds awesome. In this game, Nemesis he only appears in certain scenes. He is, what's the word I'm looking for? He is always in the same spot every time. So, and there's no branching paths. They apparently removed certain levels from the game that could have greatly extended its playtime. I don't know how 3 years later, 3 years of development, they could do such amazing work with the Resident Evil 2 remake, but then completely just not put in the same amount of effort. The game is beautiful. The gunplay is polished. Just everything looks amazing in this game. But it takes more than a pretty game to make a good game. Like I said, I enjoy it, but for $60, it is not worth the price. This game should have honestly been released for about $30. Or, like I said, could have been DLC, a $20 or $30 DLC add-on for Resident Evil 2. And because it just uses so many things from the previous game. It feels like you're playing the previous game in some spots, because you actually are in some of the original areas from 2, earlier than Leon and Jill. And then it felt different. It was spooky still at some parts, but not nearly as spooky and scary as Resident Evil 2 Remake. Now, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I probably should get a little more focused. Good things about this game. Like I said, beautiful graphics, great gameplay. I genuinely had a good time playing it the entire way through. Bad things. It's too short. Finding out there's cut content. Um, the Nemesis is your only boss. You fight him repeatedly, over and over and over again, and it just like, Jesus, he just will not die. It's just the lack of exploration. They kind of trick you at first, like, oh man, this is so cool, running around, finding things to open up new areas and make shortcuts. That's really cool. And then that's kind of it. Then it just goes onto these very, linear paths that you still have to find things, but it doesn't nearly have as much exploration as the previous game. Overall, it just feels like they tricked everyone who was super hyped about how amazing the previous remake was. And then like, oh, by the way, Resident Evil 3 remake. And then we bought it. And a lot of people, agree. They enjoy the game, but it's not worth $60. And it's not, you could tell they didn't put as much effort into this game as they did the previous game. It was a quick cash-in. They wanted to come out with as soon as possible, after the second one. I don't know if they just wanted to make it be like, hey, this game comes out a year later, just like it did, the original game. And then, of course, people are like, oh, well, you just got Resident Evil Resistance, bundled in. That probably makes up the other value. No. I'm not going to play that game. I might play that game later, but I'm not counting that because that is a side game developed by a completely different studio, and they had no interaction with the studio. So, no, I am not going to count that as part of this game. This game is a standalone. I am judging it completely on its own merit. There's not a lot of replay value with this game either, besides like wanting to play the same game just with some upgrades, so you feel like more of a badass early on. But it's just not the same. Like, I want to say, overall, the game is fun, but is not worth $60, and I regret spending $60 on it on day one. But of course, with everything going on with quarantining right now, getting any good games right now to play is fun, and is a good thing to have. But overall, I'm probably just gonna wind this down here. This is my review, solely based on Resident Evil 3 remakes, just the game, not including Resistance, which I've heard Resistance is not a good game anyway. I personally would give this game, and it hurts me because the polish of this game is so nice, but the value you're getting is what I love games with value in a $60 price tag, and this game does not have that value. So because of that, the fact that they removed so many things from it compared to the original game, I have to ding them for it. And I'm probably going to give this game, I am going to give this game a 6 out of 10. If they had put back all the original content, from the first game, like the extra levels, the branching path system, made Nemesis appear like in random places, that would be amazing. Like, I probably could see this game, being a 9. Because the other one is certainly a 9 or 8 or 9, probably even a 10 at some places. But this game just doesn't do that. It's a lazy cash-in that Capcom was doing so well, and then they screwed themselves. But that was my review for Resident Evil 3. Sorry if it was kind of a rambling mess. I'm just trying to explain all my feelings, my thoughts about this game, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Am I wrong? Did you love the game? Do you think it's worth the value? Let me know your experiences. But hey, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I don't upload as much as I want to, but I'm trying. If you haven't checked out my Resident Evil 5 playthrough with my friend Brandon, or the Resident Evil 7 playthrough with my friend Kirsten, and then finally I'll also be uploading the Okami gameplay with my friend Maggie while we drink and play Okami. But hey, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there.